You are tuned into LadyByrd Live. I am an activist and motivational speaker whose purpose is to spread the awareness of HIV. This podcast is about the education of HIV and AIDS and other STDs that people are afraid to discuss and address. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be educated. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. So, today we are going to talk about what it means to be undetectable. We're going to break down viral load, CD4 count, and we're going to talk about PrEP, pre exposure prophylaxis, as well as PEP, post exposure prophylaxis. Now, a lot of people tend to misunderstand and confuse the word undetectable with non detected, non reactive, and things like that. That has a lot to do with HIV actual testing. So, whenever you get tested for the HIV virus and you get a negative result, your test is either going to say negative, not detected, or non reactive. So, you can see where the confusion comes in when someone says the word undetectable. It's always that detectable word in that word that causes the confusion. Now, to be undetectable means that you're virally suppressed. That means that in one drop of blood, 1 milliliter of blood, you have less than 20 copies of the HIV virus in that one drop of blood, which also means that any event someone comes in contact with your blood or your sexual fluids, the chances of them contracting the HIV virus are non existent. This has been proven through many trials and has even been accepted by the FDA, the CDC, and so many other organizations are now saying, hey, you know what? Yes, when someone is undetectable, they cannot transmit the virus, which you'll see a lot of times the slogan, you equals you. Untransmittable equals undetectable, or undetectable equals untransmittable is how you'll see it. So when that also happens, that means that your viral load. So viral load is a range anywhere from less than 20 to tens of millions. The viral load is how many times the virus is replicating in your body, how many times the virus is going in there, attacking your white blood cells, making copies of itself, and repeating this process over and over until ultimately it takes over your body, which is why when you're taking what's called our antiretroviral medications, those medicines that you take to fight the HIV infection, this medication helps to lower your viral load. It helps to keep the virus from attacking and replicating and making copies of itself. Now, you also hear something called CD4 count. This is a type of white blood cell. You have different CD counts, but the CD4 count is the one that is most focused on when you are diagnosed as HIV positive. CD4 and CD means cluster of differentiation, and then the one that you're looking at is number 4. So cluster of differentiation 4. This is when you have a range of 500 to 1600 white blood cells per cubic milliliter of blood. These are your T helper cells. These cells are the ones that help you to fight off infection. Now, if your CD4 count goes under 200, that is when most people are known or found to have an AIDS diagnosis. This is when your body is being open to opportunistic infections, skin lesions and rashes, pneumocystic pneumonia, which is a type of pneumonia that people who are HIV positive and have an AIDS diagnosis are very susceptible to contracting. So you want to make sure that if you're diagnosed as being HIV positive, that you're taking your medications, you're keeping your CD4 count high, and your viral load low. All right. Now let's talk about PrEP and PEP. Now, when it comes to PrEP, PrEP is, again, pre exposure prophylaxis. This is three different medication regimens that they have found that, although these medications are actual medicines used to treat the HIV infection, they're also been shown that if someone takes this medication and they're negative, it also lowers the risk of them contracting the HIV virus. Now, as far as lowering the risk by sex, it can lower it by 99%. This also includes the person who's HIV positive, being undetectable, as well as using contraceptives and condoms and protective barriers. 99%. Now it's at 74% for someone who potentially is an drug injection user. The three medicines that are used for PrEP are Truvada, Descovy, and Apretude, which Apretude is actually an injection. Truvada and Descovy are one pills. They're one pill regimen, and the Apretude is an actual injection. Now with PEP, again, PEP is post exposure prophylaxis. This is what someone would do. Say you are working in a medical field, or for some reason you become exposed to someone who potentially has the HIV virus. I had this happen to one of my friends. She worked in a dialysis clinic. She had a patient who was, in fact, HIV positive, and that patient's needle came out of them, and she was exposed to their blood. So she had to immediately go to the emergency room, explain to them the situation and why she was there. They gave her a prescription for PEP. Now, PEP is a regimen of three medications. So PEP includes also Truvada, but it also includes 2 doses of raltegravir. So PEP is a little different. It's not just where you take this one medication, you know, however, and that's that. So with PEP, you're going to be given the PEP regimen for however long the regimen is for. They'll tell you at the emergency room, okay, we need you to take this for X amount of time. Once you've done that, they're going to bring you in for your testing, because remember, when you are at risk or exposed to the HIV virus, you're not going to know if you've potentially contracted the virus anywhere from 2 to 3 months out. So you go and you get tested. If your test is negative, they're going to bring you back in 3 more months, which would be at that point your 6 month mark. They're going to test you again. If it's negative, your status is negative. Now, in the event that your status comes up and it tests positive, they're still going to retest you and see if it's still positive then. And even also, they're going to do repeated labs to recheck the blood. And at that moment, if for some reason you have contracted the virus, you're going to be put in contact with many resources and all things to help you navigate through a new diagnosis. All right, so that was it for today. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. Next episode, we're going to start getting into talking about other STDs. So we're going to be breaking down different STDs, how to prevent them, what to look for, and things like that. So I hope you guys continue to join me on this journey. Make sure that you're visiting my website, following me on platforms, and staying in the know. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Don't forget, you can visit my website, LadyByrdOfficial.com, for more information or to schedule a one-on-one session. Until next time, bye.